These niggas thinking I'm stupid. Tryna run, I think I'm foolish. Poppin' my shit, you know how I do it. Broke ass hoe, what the hell is you doing? I got a stick on the road while I'm torn. Effing on my little rod, got two on.
I'm speaking with Naradah Tisdel. I know him as a surfer from H-Town. But basically, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, where'd you grow up? And, you know, just tell us about yourself.
Cool, man. So yeah, I grew up in H-Town, Texas, South Side, South Park to be exact, home of DJ Screw and all the Screwed Up Clique members and all the wonderful stuff that you hear on the radio is influenced by Houston music. Yeah, that's like the neighborhood that I'm from, pretty much. Yeah, born and raised here in Houston. Been living here my whole life. Yeah. So, what else you want to know, man? What else the audience wants to know?
And well, you're basically you are a laboratory scientist, a DJ. You have a website, more of a foundation called Surf Republic. I guess you'd be like an advocate and also a journalist as far as wave pool and wave pool technology. I know you know a lot about that stuff right there. And anything else that I'm leaving out?
That was pretty much it. I can't believe I left all that stuff out. Yeah, so I've been working in the lab for years. Currently, I work with molecular diagnostics, basically looking at DNA and RNA, just any type of nucleic acid for different things, mainly for infectious disease, but a couple other things as well, some cancer stuff. And I do have kind of all these diverse passions. Surfing is one of them, specifically in wave pools. And then also DJ. I go by the name of DJ Tantrum. DJ Tantrum rocks online if y'all want to follow me. I kind of just have all these different things that I'm passionate about, and I try to put them online sometimes. But yeah, and then with the Surf Republic, that actually originally started out as a project to build a wave pool here in the Houston area. So when I first started surfing, I got frustrated a lot because the forecast was kind of hard. I was still trying to learn that part. So knowing when it was good and how to take advantage of the waves at that time in this area was tough. I got frustrated. So I came with the idea, let me just build a wave pool. Ended up going and doing a whole bunch of research, traveling across the world, looking at different types of pools and stuff and formats, and never really got the project off the ground like I wanted to from the investment standpoint. But I did learn a lot, and I found out there were others that came before me, like James Fulbright down in Galveston. He's a Texas surf legend, surf specialties. But yeah, he actually tried to get a wave pool going as well. I actually talked to him a few times, and yeah, it was a good experience though. It was a tough while, but it was a good experience. But that led me to know a lot about all the current technologies and players in the wave pool space.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, I remember Fulbright was
Surf City, Texas.
Surf City, yeah. Right on. Yeah. All right, so I have a question. Tell us about your first surfing memory. Maybe it could be your first time surfing or just when you first found out about surfing or whatever.
Dang, hold on one second, man. Let me think about that one.
All right.
All right, so my first surfing, I would have to say, man, it was actually, I was probably in my late 20s actually. when I first started surfing. I was an adult learner. But I was in Galveston, and I think I remember driving down there and like just hanging out, seeing people surfing and thinking it was pretty cool. And so I just decided to stop at a shop and take a lesson. I think it was Underground, as a matter of fact. I stopped at Underground on the seawall, and there was a dude who came out. This was probably like 2007, maybe, I don't know. But he came out. I paid for the surf lesson, paid for it, caught a wave, and felt that energy. Just, you know, the energy of the ocean. Just the being at one with Earth for, you know, that 3 seconds that I stood up, and then after that I was hooked.
Right on. So you went by yourself, hired a surf coach, and just got into it.
Yep, I think I saw it on TV a couple of times or something, and maybe I saw. I think I always like the water first of all, but when I went down there and I saw people actually surfing it in Galveston, I was like, that looks kind of cool. I think I want to try that. Like literally, just like matter of fact. I know it's probably strange coming from a black dude from the south side of Houston where there's barely a pool out there. but yeah, that's just how it was for me.
So you're saying anybody, if they wanted to go surfing, if they saw it and they thought it looked cool, they could get on the Google, do a search, find a surf coach, and just do it.
Literally, that's it. That's all it takes. Actually, you don't even need a surf coach. I would say a surf coach or any kind of surf instructor will bring the learning curve down a lot and make it a lot more palatable, a lot more fun. So that's what it was for me, because that was like the only surf lesson I took. After that, it's pretty much all on you anyway. A coach will help because they'll help catalyze your surfing, make you better faster, but you still have to go through the aspects of learning. So I bumped my head for a long time. Like the first board I bought was too small. It was like an 8.6, but it was like real thin. And I was floundering around on it. I didn't really know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. That was a waste of money. And then the next board I bought was too small. It was 7.8, and it was a little bit thicker, but it was kind of trash. I think you rode that board a couple of times when we were at Surfside. Mm. And I don't think you liked it. I think you were like, nah, I don't like this board. That mug sat in the garage.
I don't remember it, so I know I didn't love it.
Nah. You were like, nah, I don't like this board. You was like, you should go get one made, bro. Like, yeah, that board was kind of. I mean, it was a cool board for the right person, but that was not the board for me.
All right, so number one, it sounds like if it looks cool, you want to try it, maybe look into getting a coach or an instructor. Don't buy a board too small. It's usually better to buy one too big than too small. But maybe that's something if you find a good coach, they could help you out with that, I would think. Or actually, just if anybody who's watching this, the three people that are watching this video, just contact me, and I mean, you probably can contact DJ
Absolutely.
Tantrum too. So
yeah, hit us up, man.
Yeah,
definitely hit up G, because he knows way more about it. He's way more skilled, been doing it longer, so he'll get you right, like just like he got me right.
Hey, you know what? And I really do try to answer all the comments. If I don't answer your comment, it's because it really. And I got a lot of shit for that anyway. I've gotten a lot of weird comments, but I answer them all except for like one or two that really piss me off.
Keep at it though.
Yeah, but hey, let me ask you this: have you ever had a bad wipeout or some kind of bad surfing experience, like dealing with Mother Nature?
Oh man, yeah, I've had at least one that like sticks out the most in my mind. I went down to Costa Rica with a couple of buddies. They don't surf, so they were just kind of hanging out. I was going to the beach by myself and surfing. But there was this one day where it looked like it was about to rain. It was kind of getting dark, and the tide was coming in like later. Like it was weird because like during the morning time, it would be low tide. And then around like 3 or 4 o'clock, the tide would swing like crazy and the waves would just be going off. Like it happened like that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get out there, but we had like an excursion or something that day. So when we got back, it was close to dark, but it was going off and it was about to rain. So I'm like, all right, I got like maybe 30 minutes. I can get in. I'm here. I'm leaving like in a day or something. I'm going to take it. I went out there. I rented a board from some random dude on the beach. And the leash was kind of janky. I'm like, man, I don't know. And it's overhead and I'm not that great, but I was like, I'm here. I'm going to charge it, whatever. So I go out, I wrap the leash and I paddle out. The first wave I paddle into, I get up, and then I wiped out, and the board just took off, and the leash just like gently like slid off my foot. And I was like, "Fuck!"
Some bull.
Can we curse on here? But I was like, "Yo," I was like, "This is crazy." So I'm in the middle. I'm in the water, and I'm like swimming in, and I see like. I feel something. I don't know. It felt like I don't know. I guess a stingray basically is what it was. It felt like something rubbing against me. And I look around and I'm swimming through a whole like school of stingrays back to the beach in overhead surf in Costa Rica. And I don't know if it was mating season or what, but I still got a GoPro photo, matter of fact, of like one of the stingray wings like poking out of the water.
Wow.
But yeah, it was crazy. But that was the scariest thing. Nothing happened. I made it back to the beach. I was tired as hell. But I called it quits that day. And funny enough, I was like wanting to go back out, but then like true story, lightning struck like a light pole on the beach. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. So that was probably the scariest experience I've had.
Right on. Yeah, I fucked around with lightning one a little bit too long one time.
Dang, for real?
Yeah, when you're just like, yeah, we really should go in, man. We really, really should go in. And then it just keeps getting closer and you're like, yeah, we really should go in. We really should go in.
But it's good though.
You know how lightning it's like forks?
Yeah.
Well, like one of them hit that was they were all hitting closer and closer. And we were having fun though. And then one hit, and that thing hit out there, over there, and behind us on the beach. Like we saw that we were in the middle of that motherfucker. And then finally we were like, oh shit, we fucking hauled ass in. And we got to the beach. There was a spot on the beach where the sand was like glass, like jacked up and smoking. Like, not like smoke, it was almost like steam, I guess. I don't know. But that was a trip, man. And that was really kind of stupid, man. Shit you shouldn't do, man.
Man, hey, you've been out there like on fronts when the fronts, like you can see the frontal boundary.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? It's like blue skies on one side and then these dark clouds like Independence Day or something.
Yeah. Sometimes I think the cold air goes under the warm air. And so that anyway, but yeah, it's not always drastic like that, but yeah, sometimes it's like a drastic, like a hard line there, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, so next question. Do you remember when and how we met? It was kind of a ironic.
It was, was it at, it had to be at Surfside, I think, right? Was it Surfside? Yeah, it had to be a Surfside or Galveston, maybe. I think I was surfing.
It's funny you don't remember.
Like, you probably was like, man, what the fuck is this dude doing out here? Like
John Wayne. John Wayne.
John Wayne?
John Wayne. You don't remember?
So,
I was in California surfing with some old friends, the dudes I used to hang out with. And I'm pretty sure this is and you forgot. You must have been smoking, man. And this, I'm at, I'd been out in California just like surfing and hanging out with those folks for about a few days, a week or so. And I went to the airport to go back to Houston where I was living.
Oh yeah, fuck, on the plane. We were
Yeah,
coming back from the OC. That's right. Yes, I remember that now. And
you were
it
at
was
the
so random.
you were at the
Yeah,
U.S. No, the what is it? The one at Trestles, right?
yeah. So
Was it the U.S.
okay.
Open or
So that was the
the
so that's
Hurley
when I was
Pro?
trying to get Surf Republic going, right?
Yeah, that was the
And
Hurley Pro, right?
yes, the Hurley Pro. So
Yeah.
all right, check this out. So damn, that was right. We met on
Yeah.
the
So this
Southwest
tall
flight.
dude. So I'm just checking in at the gate. I went, went through security, got my sandwich or whatever, and I'm checking in at the gate. They call like rows 1 through 30 or whatever. So I get up, and there's this tall dude with dreadlocks, and he's got a Hurley hat on, and I was just like, that's weird, man. And, what are the coincidences? Like I know they're having the Hurley contest, and like I was like, hey, dude, were you here for the contest? And then he starts talking. He's like, yeah, and he starts talking about, well, I was here. I was trying to get this wave pool, and I was like, wait, wave pool? Wait, Texas? What? I was like, dude, no, we're sitting together, man. And then we like, I felt bad for his wife. His lovely wife was sitting there just bored off her ass, I guess, the whole time, or maybe she got in a nap. But
Sorry,
yeah, we were just talking about surfing and wave pools and all this stuff, man. So, and then, yeah, found out that we lived, within probably a couple miles. All right, we lived pretty close.
Yeah, like 3 miles, I think.
So, yeah, we started kind of surfing together, or meeting up down there in Galveston or Surfside.
Yeah, Surfside and Galveston. Damn, I forgot all about that, bro. Like, damn, that was a crazy trip.
That was a
Again,
hell of a coincidence.
like, okay, so see, this is I don't know how to explain this, but I mean, I don't know what anybody's religious beliefs and all that stuff are, but like I feel like with surfing and just wave pools in general, it's crazy. It might sound crazy to y'all, but I feel like pull like a almost like a gravitational pull towards it, and this kind of passion for it that I can't really like get rid of. Like it's hard. Like I try to do other stuff and think about other things, but it's like it always circles back and comes in my mind somehow. So
now, are you talking about surfing in general or wave pools?
Both surfing and then wave pools specifically. Like so surfing in general, I feel the same way about, but then wave pools, it's like this recurring kind of, I don't know, it's like a nagging kind of feeling of being drawn to like that industry for some reason. It's really weird.
About Surf Republic, man.
Okay, so with Surf Republic, basically everything that you would see at BSR right now, that's what the initial intention of Surf Republic would have been. A place where you can go and surf in a big wave pool with real surfable waves and have fun doing it. You can get better, and it's just a cool beach vibe, a community-oriented vibe, and just something wonderful and not really something that you would experience every day like we have now. So anyway, that was the original theme for it. Wanted to do it in Houston. Didn't really work out that way. I tried to drum up some investment for a while. So a part of that was presenting to different, like basically millionaires and billionaires and stuff, right? It's very hard to reach some of these folks, but I was kind of persistent, and I came up with an idea. My wife and I were going out to California on that same trip. We're going out to California just to celebrate like our anniversary. We did that, like we take a trip like every year, right? But it just so happened I found out that the Hurley Pro was that same weekend. I didn't even like realize it until like I think maybe right before we left, like maybe like a week before we left. I was like, oh snap. It just clicked. And so I came with this idea. This book called Surf Texas had just come out. It's a Texas surf photographer. He took a bunch of dope ass pictures from like Padre and Corpus Christi and all over Texas, and he put the book out. And I was like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a business plan. I'm gonna take a executive summary for a business plan for the wave pool, and I'm gonna put it in this book, and I'm gonna take it to Hurley headquarters, and I'm gonna leave it for him, right? And so I knew the pro was coming up, and on like the last day of the trip, or actually the day before the last day of the trip, we drove out to the Hurley headquarters, and I went in. I was like, hey, just went to the front desk, and I was like, I want to just see if I can get, like 5 minutes with Bob real quick. And they were like, who the fuck are you? Like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm trying to get this investment going for his wave pool, whatever. Here's a business card. And I got this book that I want to leave for him. And I just really want to, like give it to him, whatever. And they were like, well, I mean, he's probably out at the pro right now, right? And I was like, oh, really? And they were like, yeah, we're not going to take your book. I mean, she was nice, but she was just like, it's probably not a good idea. He's probably occupied or whatever. So I tell you what, you just call back or send an email to like info@hurley.com or something crap. I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. So I'm kind of like I'm anxious, but at the same time, I'm disheartened because I'm like, all right, well, I came out here. I shot my shot. I can go home, whatever. It's all good. And I walked back to the car, and I actually had forgotten. I had the business plan, but I had forgotten the book. And I was like, oh, yeah, let me give him this book because I was so excited. So I went back, and I went into like this door at the headquarters, which I thought was like the front door or like a side door or something. Dude, walk right into Bob's office, literally. Like right into his office. And like he was sitting there, and he was like on the phone, and he's like, hold on. He's like, can I help you? And I just froze up. I was like, oh shit. Like I brought this book for you. I'm trying to do this wave pool. It's a really dope concept. I don't want to take too much time, but here you go, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like real quick.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, cool. And then he was like, I really gotta get back on this call, like fuck out my office, but he was cool about it though. And then like I was like, all right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to barge in, I didn't even know this door, whatever. He's like, oh, no worries, man, we all good, And I go to walk out, and then he's like, hey, he's like, hold on, hey, why don't you come out to the pro tomorrow? I was like, word? And he was like, yeah, just come out, tell him Bob sent you or whatever, something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. So we actually had a flight the next day, and the flight left at like 1, and the pro is at Trestles. That's like a trek. You gotta freaking walk all the way down and all that stuff. So me and the wife, we got all the stuff together. We left early, and they were actually still setting up for the men's competition, but the women had just started. And so I went looking for them. I'm like, damn, we got to make this flight. We got like an hour to get to the airport, or, like a real tight span. I mean, it's John Wayne, but still. So I'm like walking around for like a good 30 minutes, sweating. The wife is at the hotel, just like packing up and stuff, and I got a minivan that I rented. So it's, it was real lame. But anyway, I'm walking around. I can't find them. And then finally I go to like one of the people with the people that were throwing the event, and they were like, hey, who you looking for? I'm like, looking for Bob. They're like, he's up there, let me go radio for him. And they took me up to the press box where he was, just overlooking thing, and there was Kelly Slater and Pat O'Connell, and Bob they were all just chilling watching the event. He was like, hey, so tell me about this thing. I told him about it a little bit, and he was like, it's kind of risky and whatnot. He was like, we're not really in the business of investing and stuff like that. But he's like, Kelly's downstairs, and he's got a wave pool thing he's working on. Like, he doesn't really talk about it, but I know he's supposed to be pretty close or something, right? I think this was 2013, right? So they were probably doing some work on the stuff. And so I'm freaking out, like, hell yeah, bro. Like, you know, let's make that happen. But I think he was out warming up or something. So I didn't meet him or anything like that, but I got a quick picture with him. And I was like, look, I want to stay, but I got to catch this flight and go back to work and stuff. So I left. And I mean, it was a cool, like, you know, meeting and everything. But yeah. But long story, just to say that all of that happened as a result of me pursuing this passion of mine for surfing and for surf parks. So I got a chance to meet him, and then, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right on. So and I know you've gone to a few of these wave pools around the world. Which one is your favorite wave pool?
I mean, I still got a lot that I want to visit. First of all, I gotta say that, full disclosure. But out of the ones that I've researched and seen, my favorite, hands down, is BSR. Hands down, it's just an incredible vibe there, man. Incredible crew. The waves are fun. It's not too crazy, but at the same time, it's really customizable, and it can still be challenging. It's a beautiful vibe, just all around. Good look.
Right on. So you said you didn't get a chance to meet Slater, but didn't you have a weird run-in recently with one of these hoofed creatures on some kind of goat on a longboard or some shit? What was that?
Like,
I think I saw some pictures.
You know, it's crazy, bro. Like, this is the craziest thing. Have you ever seen a goat surf before?
Just the picture you sent me.
I had never seen a goat surf before. Actually, yesterday, as a matter of fact. But so anyway, check this out. Another really random story here. I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet, but just random.
Full of random stories, man.
Just so you can see where I'm coming from, right? So a couple of weeks ago, or actually it was like a week ago, I saw somebody post on Facebook. Actually, it was Shane Dante. He's a surfer and photographer, great photographer, surf photographer. But he was like, hey, anybody going to BSR on the 15th? And I'm like, they don't have any sessions open. I checked the website like every day. And it just so happened that they opened up 2 sessions, 12 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I was like, that's a weird time span, but I'll just, you know, do some work in between that time or whatever. So, which, you know, I mean, I work remotely, so I'm constantly working. Like, I was working before we got on this call, but I just went ahead and took it, and I was like, I'll figure out everything else. All the meetings and stuff I had, I'll figure out how to take them, whatever. So I booked them, went down there, and that morning, since me and my wife are moving right now, so that morning, forgot my surfboard. Like, I literally drove off without my surfboard. I was like, dang, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Let me just keep going. Got down there, went, and I was like, let me just rent a board. The only one that even fit my dimensions, my normal dimensions, I ride something like 50 liters, or usually more than that, 50-ish, you know, 48 to 50-something liters. I'm like, everything here is like a potato chip, because these are like high-performance boards. But they did have like a couple of boards, a Slater Designs and a Firewire. So I was like, all right, let me get the Firewire. It's a little bit bigger. Paddle out for the session, and there's like a rumor going around, like, hey, there's a special guest in the house. I'm like who? And so one of the guys, Jeff, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, so I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were like pulling my chain, like, oh yeah, man, we're gonna have a special guest. There's gonna be some pro surfers at BSR, whatever. And he was like, man, whatever. There's pro surfers there all the time. He was like, nah, but there's, you know, somebody else that might be here. And I'm like, okay. And then so Jeff was like, yeah, and I just laughed it off, like, whatever. And I thought he was just joking too, right? But he was like, yeah, it's gonna be Kelly. He's gonna surf today. I'm like, man, whatever. And he was like, yeah, that's what I said too. And so we just kind of like kept surfing in the session or whatever. And he came back, And he was like, so anyway, I saw him and he was doing airs. And I was like, saw who? And he was like, Kelly. And I was like, oh, you were serious? I thought you were just joking. And he was like, no, I'm dead serious. He's here. And I'm like, you're pulling my chain right now. He's like, no, he surfed today, earlier. I'm like, no way. And so we just kept surfing, you know, trading waves. So at BSR, you do rights first, and then you can switch to lefts, or, you know, vice versa. But you do 30 minutes of rights and 30 minutes of lefts. So it was time to switch from rights to lefts. And Jeff is like, hey, you know, check out behind you as we go to the other side of the pool. And I look up, and it's none other than Kelly Slater coming out in our session right behind me to surf. And I feel like a 13-year-old girl in 2004 meeting Justin Bieber for the first time. I'm like, bro, like, this is the GOAT. Like, literally, like, this is the best surfer, the competitive surfer of all time right here. Like,
now wait,
in the water.
you sent me a picture of a goat on a longboard.
Bro, like,
now how did this evolve into the actual goat? Wait, was he riding a longboard or a shortboard?
Nah, bro, it was a shortboard, bro. And so I'm tripping because the dude walking out in the water as I'm coming off my last wave, moving, switching sides. And I'm trying to be cool, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, this is Kelly Slater. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I just show him some Texas love. You know, I'm just like, hey, man, what's up? Just like that. I was like, hey, what's up? And he was like, what's up? I'm like, you know, we having fun. He's like, the waves are fun. I'm like, yeah, it's fun as shit, you know. So he goes, catches a wave, rips it, just bang, you know, doing this thing. And then I'm just over there stoking out. Everybody else in the water is just like tripping, like, damn, like, this is Kelly. We surfing with Kelly Slater right now. So we ended up surfing at the whole rest of that session. And it was pretty epic, man. Like, just being in the water with him, and then like it was, I can't explain like the amount of energy right now. It's pretty crazy.
So you saw the GOAT on a longboard and the shortboard?
Yeah, on a shortboard. One other thing I do want to say about that though, with Kelly, like, I was in the water and he was super duper cool. We had a conversation, and I asked him about his boards, and I kind of like was like, hey man, what's going on with the Cymatic? Because I've been like eyeballing that board for a long time. I never bought it. I haven't had a chance to ride one, but I had like preconceived notions about it. And so, you know how you were talking about coaching earlier? I mean, it's Kelly, so I'm gonna take his advice, but he just kind of started riffing on the board. He was like, oh, no. I was like, man, y'all only make it at 6'4". What's up with that? I need a bigger board. And he was like, nah. It doesn't work like that. He was like, the board is chopped off at the nose. So number one, that's misleading, right? It's going to have less swing weight. And you got to really look at the volume, because it's going to perform differently than your normal board. So you can ride it way shorter than your normal short board. So he was like, man, I ride a 5'3", and I like it in like double overhead surf. I'm like, I'm sitting here tripping like, dude, I'm having a conversation with Kelly Slater about one of the boards he designed and like the theory behind it. Like, it was mind blowing, bro. Like, it was crazy. And we're surfing in a wave pool in Texas. Like, I don't know.
That is mind blowing right there, man. All of that is mind blowing. Hey, so what did you actually get? You got a 6'4" Cymatic. That's what you rode?
No, so what ended up happening was when I rode the first session at 12, I think I rode a Firewire Dominator. And that's how we struck up the conversation. He was like, hey, what you riding? And I was
what
like,
size?
Oh, it's a Dominator. It was a 6'4" Dominator, I think. It was about 40 liters. And so he was like, what'd you say?
How did it work? Was that enough? How did it work out?
Yeah, man, I thought it wouldn't be enough, but for some reason, like, it had just enough float for me. And so that tripped me out, because you remember that board we had shaped with Maurice at Edit? That board I struggled with for a long time until recently, till I got it in the pool at BSR. And now I can really surf it a lot better than I ever have, right? I know some of that comes with the reps and the waves, but for me, the volume I always struggle with. But I'm more comfortable with it. So going down to a lower volume board has always been, I've been averse to that for a long time. Because I'm like, nah, I can't do it. I weigh 200 something pounds. That's not going to work. It's just not. I'm not Greg, so I can't do that, you know. But at the same time,
shit, I ride a lot of, you know, most of the people that are my height, they're riding volume in the 20s, I think.
What are you riding right now?
My short board, my short board is kind of a high. I mean, it's kind of a little flatter than a short board should be. But anyway, it's 37.
Oh, dang, for real?
Which is a lot. Most, you know.
For something, I thought you were riding like 32 liter boards.
Fuck no, I can't even. I couldn't deal with it.
It looks so much smaller though.
Well, you know, they hide a lot of the volume. They make the along the stringers pretty thick, and then out towards the rails, it's narrow, you know, so you can still dig it in and everything. But you know, yeah, they have a way to hide it, kind of. But yeah, I'm 37. I would maybe. I don't think I would want to go lower than 37. You know, 37, 36, 35, maybe at the lowest. If I'm gonna go somewhere where there's some good waves and I'm in good shape and everything, but if anything, I was thinking I might go higher, man. You know, because I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, so that at the and then at the 7 o'clock you rode a different board, right?
Oh yeah. So I swapped out at 7 o'clock, and after having that conversation about the Cymatic, I went in. I'm like, okay, what? I saw some Slater designs in here, so I need to find the one that's closest to my volume. And they had a Sci-Fi, which has a similar tail with the bat wings on it as a Cymatic. So I'm like, okay, but the nose is different. It's kind of like the traditional kind of pointy shortboard nose. So I'm like, all right, let me just grab this and go out. And I mean, Slater's here. I might as well ride a Slater board. And that way, if I see him, I maybe can get some advice. I don't know if he's still here because I had been like working for the last 6 hours, like in my truck. So I didn't even know if he was still there or not. But so I came back out. I got the board, ran out for the session. They were actually throwing wedge waves. I don't know if you've seen the picture of the wedge. It was crazy. So I caught my first wedge wave, and then I got worked, of course, because it just like walls up and crashes.
Quick question. Yes. So what is it like getting worked at BSR? This is all BSR that we're talking about, right? Yeah,
yes, at BSR. It's a legit pounding that you can get. So they made the concrete bottom, and the wave has enough push to kind of drag you across the bottom. So I got some tats on my back right now.
Nice.
From getting dragged across the bottom, and my arms. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. But yeah. But I mean, you can get properly worked. So
nice.
But it's fun. I mean, it adds to it. But anyway, I got the Sci-Fi with the bat wings, and then I rode it, and sure enough,
what size?
On the left, what'd you say?
What size?
What size? It was it looked like it was about 6'3". I actually don't remember the exact size. I think it was 6'3" and like 39.8 liters, something like that. So it was like maybe a 1 liter under the other one that I had. And so I paddled in. I got up on my first couple of waves, and the trippy part for me is that the board turned like super duper easy. I mean, like you barely lean on the rail and it's moving and it flies. And then on top of all that, if you're just like stable, like you're in the pocket, you just want to cruise. I mean, it does literally whatever you want to do. It's very responsive, right? So I'm riding it. I catch a few waves with it. We switch to the lefts again. Look out. Here comes Kelly. Once again, I'm just like, dude. So this time I had my GoPro with me, and I actually got a chance to get a shout out from him. So I posted it at some point.
Right on. We'll put it up. Cool, man. It's been a good interview, man. What is next for you as as your different different personalities. You got Naradah Tisdel, the dude. You got DJ Tantrum, the DJ, and Surf Republic, the venture. What's next, man?
Man, with the DJ stuff, man, that's just as much a part of my life, and I'm just as passionate about that as I am about surfing. So it's just, I got, like I said, I got a lot of these different passions that I put a lot of my heart and love into. So I got some stuff coming out with the DJ stuff. I'm kind of pivoting more to like music production. So I've been making beats and stuff, and I'm gonna drop an EP pretty soon with just like a beat tape, right, basically. And then I've been working a lot, you know, with the whole SARS thing. And, you know, trying to get, you know, a lot of testing up and running and supporting a lot of labs and stuff. Cause I mean, I've been working in the lab industry for a long time. And then with Surf Republic, man, I don't know. I'm kind of at a crossroads because you got this proliferation of all these different types of surf parks, all these different technologies. Mm-hmm. So it's like, on one hand, I feel like this is the best time to try to launch a venture like that because the industry is mature enough at this point. Compared to when I tried to do it years ago, it just wasn't quite there yet. There weren't enough options. There's more money out there at this point. Even with COVID and stuff, people are still making like sound investments. And then just the future of recreation in the way people spend money. It's not about acquiring things as much moving forward. It's more about experiences, right? So I feel like there's always going to be a market for any type of experiential venture, like a surf park or a rock climbing gym or any kind of bike riding or anything like that. And I feel like that market is only going to grow. So I'm kind of, you know, on one hand, I kind of want to do it. And then on the other hand, I also recognize that specifically for Texas, there aren't a lot of like surf specific media outlets that cater to the culture here. So I've been thinking about, you know, maybe doing something along those lines as well. So, I mean, I got a couple of ideas I might kick around, but we'll see. I don't know.
I'll be glad to hear anything and everything. All right, cool, man. Anything else you want people to know?
Y'all can follow me online at the Surf Republic. So I post a lot of my surfing videos there. Right now it's mostly me, but I gotta get Greg on some of these videos as well. And I might post a few of my homies on there at some point too. As a matter of fact, I think I might post up the little shout out I got on the Surf Republic page.
Right on.
So and also, if you want to check out some dope beats, see some of the events that I've DJed in the past, DJ Tantrum Rocks. You can find me on all social media platforms.
Right on, man. All right, man. It's been great. I imagine I'd love to do it again sometime, man.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me on, man. I love what you're doing with this show, and it's real dope, and you're getting a lot of good people on, and I think it's encouraging. I learn a lot from it. And I please keep it going, and I'm gonna definitely support you in all you do, man.
Right on, appreciate it, man. I just, you know, anybody for the 3 or maybe 4 people now that's watching, yeah, subscribe and comment. And like I said, I answer all the comments unless you really piss me off. But like we were talking about earlier, if you got if you got questions about surfing, you know, for people that are just getting into it or whatever. I just realized my shirt is torn. Oh well, this is a shirt from Terrapin Station in Boulder, Colorado. Anybody knows, if you don't know about Terrapin, you might need to find out.
Terrapin Station.
But
let me say one thing real quick. All right, so I want to say this. This dude right here helped to, like, he was a big catalyst in my surfing, right? The reason I say that is because I was riding all kinds of crazy boards earlier, and he was the one that came and said, look, this is the type of board you probably should ride. I got a guy that can make that board. And ever since he changed my perspective of that, like I've been growing as a surfer. Before that, I felt like I plateaued, right? And I was struggling. But after that, it was like, okay, now I've been exposed to what it should feel like. You know, the speed change, the technique change, and it just kind of broadened my horizon. So like what he was saying about surf coaching is sincerely and truly it works. And I'm proof of that. Cause I mean, before I could barely stand up. So
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, I appreciate that. And you know, I've plateaued too. And I think, you know, surfing is very physical, but it's also very mental.
oh yeah.
And so, yeah, it's weird, you know, but you can use your mental to supercharge your physical, and you can use the physical to supercharge your mental. Because I know sometimes I'll get stuck, and then if I work out harder or different or better than I have, then it changes my physical ability, but it does something up here too, and so that works vice versa. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I see, nobody wants to hear me talk, but if I'll just ramble. I'll talk about surfing or shit. I'll even talk about fishing or something forever, man. Anyway, it's better to have guests on here so I don't just ramble on myself. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, and yeah, hopefully we'll do it again. So.
Definitely, man. This was fun, man. Appreciate it, man.
All right, have a good night, sir.
All right, man. Check you later.
These niggas thinking I'm stupid. Tryna run, I think I'm foolish. Popping my shit, you know how I do it. Broke ass hoe, what the hell is you doing? I got the stick on the road while I'm torn. Effing in on my little rod, got two on. Check on your head for the low like a coupon. I begin